Hey guys, and welcome to a new video, part number 4 of the Beachhead series. So, in the past couple of days, or actually it has been a week, I'm gonna be honest, it takes quite a while. We farmed 60 white tier 5 Beachhead maps, followed by 60 yellow tier 10 Beachhead maps. Then we did 60 red tier Beachhead maps, the tier 15 one. And today we're gonna start the next project. The last one remaining is 60 times the new INFUSED Beachhead tier 16 map. And I haven't really done any of these. It's the first time I'm going to run this map. I just know usually the Beachhead maps, they have like 6 additional harbingers. This map has 20 additional harbingers. So if we take a look at the write down, we have 60 infused Beachhead maps, and this time around, I will not forget it. Big shout out to Vega that helped me gathering all of the 240 Beachhead maps. So there is your shout out, finally. I've done it. What a YouTuber, holy shit. So we have 60 Beachhead maps going for about 210 chaos with today's Exile exchange ratio. God. Fuck this, dude. So we have 100 and 140. X is dropping like hell, and I think it's actually 138 because this is dropping faster than. I just don't want to say anything bad right now. But I think let's just say 140 at the moment. I think it's 139 something. I don't know. But I spend exactly 90 exalts, which is about 1.5 exalts per piece of the Beachhead map. And we're gonna do it the same old-fashioned. We're gonna write down all the currency that we get, all the fragments, the maps, and everything else that might be valuable. And in the end, we have to crack 12,600 chaos to break even, okay? So I have no idea how this can be actual profitable in any kind of sense. Maybe I just don't know, okay? Because I've never run one of these maps. I don't know how intense this is going to be. If we're gonna fulfill the legacy and find an actual mirror tier shard almost, or are we bound to our still bad Perandus coin shards or something like that? There is one thing that I'm aware of is these scrolls that you can find, right? And they should be quite valuable. I think like 7-8 exalts or something per scroll. So we need to find a bunch of those to actually have a chance to break even, right? I think usually, if you do that, I think it should be considered the same way as you treat the Chayula runs, for example, that you just buy like 60 of those in bulk and then just host them and invite people, because I think the experience in this map is going to be quite ridiculous. But we're gonna see, right? So this is the start of something new, right? And we're gonna do it the good old-fashioned. We're gonna run the first map together to see what this is about, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the builds that I'm currently playing. And yes, I know I could use fragments over here, but I didn't use fragments on the other maps, and this is a comparison gamble or comparison science project, so we're not going to do that either. So we're just going to run them just the natural way as they were born right out of harvest, I would say. So, I'm not playing the Righteous Fire character anymore for the reasons that I explained in the past, in the past video. This now is quite similar to the Herald stacker that we had last league. Just not as strong, but pretty stupid as well, I guess. So, you guys probably know I'm not a fan of Herald stacker. I did not play it in the last league. At least I did, but only for like 5 hours, and then I scratched it. I said like, this is stupid actually. This is an Aura stacker this time, so it's not running any kind of purposeful harbingers. The one that we run actually is Cluster Jewels with the First Among Equals and the Aura node. So you wanna get 6 passives on item level 84 with the Aura passive, which is super expensive. I think it's like 15, 17, 18 exalts per medium Cluster Jewel, and you want to get like 6 or even 9 of those if you play this as a Scion. As I said, it works pretty similar. If you played Herald Stacker, you kind of will recognize the gear. The reason why I'm actually playing this build, since I did not want to bother or play it last league, is pretty simple. When I sold my Gladiator, the flex build Gladiator, right, I could get enough currency to finally afford an Explo Nebulis. So this thing goes for about 300 exalts at the moment, and I did use it on my Righteous Fire Trickster. to generate these explosions, chain reactions with the Herald of Ash that I explained in the last video using ignite proliferation and that kind of stuff. But it wasn't that great, and as I explained again, like in the last video as well, it kind of felt better, the Righteous Fire felt better with this insane AoE rather than an Explo Nebulous, because the Nebulous does not give you anything for Righteous Fire. It doesn't have any fire damage or elemental damage or dot multi or anything. The only thing that the weapon gives you for Righteous Fire is the Explo mod, that's it, you know? So I wanted to play a build that is actually using or taking advantage out of the Nebulous and how it can actually scale, going maximum resistance. And this weapon, basically, for short explanation if you're not aware of, this gives you 20% increased lightning damage per 1% lightning resistance, which is above 75. The hard cap of resistance is 90, so basically you can get 15 over max cap, which is 90, that I have over here. So I'm getting actually 300% increased lightning damage out of my Nebulous. And then, to make it even better, you can then use the Call of the Brotherhood to convert 96% or up to 96% of that lightning damage into cold damage. So my ARC that you see over here is actually doing like 96% cold damage, and that's why it can freeze and stuff like that, since we're not running elemental focus. So this conversion thing, you probably know from Eternity Shroud builds. This is kind of the same principle, just that you're not really gonna get anything out of it when you're starting to convert, because on the Eternity Shroud version, for example, you always have the elemental damage that you get by converting your damage, right? Here it's basically just about the weapon itself, that you then can convert the 300% lightning damage into like 290% cold damage, which stacks also with the cold part of this. So the weapon itself probably gives me like 580% increased damage to any kind of like lightning or cold skill, right? And this is a proper way to use that. And when we say now, okay, we have an Explo Nebulous that can scale, sorry, that can scale insanely with cold and lightning skills, and I need maximum resistance to actually generate the power of this scepter, you kind of have to use Purity of Lightning and you have to use Purity of Ice to get your maximum resistance on top, right? So basically, we have now double Purity, we have a Nebulous, we have Call of the Brotherhoods. The only thing that's left is a Shafts for more spell damage, and there you go. What is the best build that you can play using those mechanics? It's an Aura Stacker. And that's the reason why I'm actually playing an Aura Stacker right now, just because I want to take good use out of the Explo Nebulous before I sell it and play something else more ethical after this build, once we're done with the Beachhead maps, basically, right? Or I might even take this build a little bit further and maybe even make a map gamble. Like, I want to do this like last league already with the 60 fractured full delirium maps. And for these maps, you want to have a build that is like insane, okay? And this build, I see not a reason why this build should not be able to do any kind of full delirium maps, right? So the problem with these maps, now with the tools that we have available in Harvest, the perfect map should be, like, for example, a map of your choice. I would always like go for Burial Chambers because of the Doctor drops, for example. You want to get 35% increased quality on the map itself, so you can, for the, what's it called, in Betrayal, 35% map quality. Then you want to add a Fractured modifier, which is Beyond, so you can permanently Chaos spam the map and you will always have Beyond. Then you want to enchant with Harvest the cannot consume or will not consume Sextants. And then you're just gonna pump it up with like 5 Delirium Orbs with Scarabs or Blight or whatever you feel like is the best profit. I need to do some research what is the actual best way to use the orbs. Then you want to have the map itself based as an Elder map, because I think the Elder map has the most monsters in there. Can also be any kind of Shaper map or Redeemer map, but just not the typical Burial Chamber. And once you're done with setting up all of that, you probably have a map that is worth on the market, because I checked that right before. You pay about 15 to 20 exalts just for this one map with the Delirium Orbs, with everything. And what you do then is just buy a shit ton of fractured fossils, because this will generate a copy or a mirror of your current map, right? So you're gonna buy like 60 fractured fossils, which is like, I don't know, like 2 exalts per fractured fossil, but then you can permanently copy your insane map. So you just need this one map, one time generated, and you're good to go basically. And the prices are insane of this map, right? And then you want to use like the best sextants, which is like Nemesis, Legion, or Nemesis drops additional currency, Legion, whatever. You're just gonna make the best for sextants that you can find, because your map will say doesn't consume sextant. So you can get really the craziest shit going together, and you will have that for all the 60 maps. And it's ridiculous. So just talking about that, we have like 100 exalts spent. Oh wait, we have actually 2 of the big guys here. That's actually interesting. So you have like 100 exalts worth of maps if you fracture that base map like 60 times. And I'm really curious if you make a shit ton of profit out of that. And as far as I know, you're gonna get shit tons of profit out of that, just based on what you get. But you need a character that can actually pull that off. Like Double Beyond Headhunter should be a must-have for this. Doesn't need to be, but why not, right? So we have complete Harbinger, complete Infused Beachhead maps. And what do we get? A Time Light Scroll. Upgrades the flow untethered. What is this? I think this is the good one, right? This is actually worth 7 exalts. Woo! Alright, I don't think this is a 100% drop, to be honest, right? I don't think so. I think we're just gonna get... I think we just got quite lucky. I think this is the most expensive, thanks to Gassy and his 1.5 billion Spectre, 100 million Shaper DPS, right? Scorching... No, not Scorching Ray. SRS. Summon Raging Spirits. And he's using those, the upgraded belt, basically, and that's why they are popping off so hard in price. But I think, well, for the first map, we actually made profit. 1.5 exalts in, 7 exalts out. Me gusta. I like this. Good, so we were talking about the map that I'm planning to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it with the Aura Stacker or not, okay? So this is always, like, flexible. You know, usually I switch builds more often than my underwear. I mean, that's kind of obvious if I never wear any, but hey, the core message is there, right? And in this league, I'd probably play a build for like a week, because there is so much min-maxing to do in this league, just because of all the perfect items that you can get and ridiculous builds that you can play. But with the Righteous Fire, for example, I played it for 180 beachhead maps and I couldn't see it anymore, right? So maybe after 60 infused beachheads, I don't want to play this character anymore. Who knows? And we might gonna play the other ones with, like, maybe we go back to the roots and play some Herald of Thunder Auto Bomber just for the speed. Because I heard some people are like complaining. Like, remember when I brought the Heralds, not the Herald Stacker, the Herald of Thunder Auto Bomber is like week 1 or 2 of the league. And now everybody is playing that shit, and they just have way more currency than I had back in the day, and now everybody brings like this sick auto bombers. So I probably have to teach them a lesson, just make the ultimate, undisputed best auto bomber, just to show the people where the roots are coming from, right? Because I would have quite some nice ideas for the upgraded version of the auto bomber, and that should be able to actually be like clear the delirium maps that I was just talking about. But yeah. We're gonna see about that. I think first map is actually almost about clear, and I did not keep track actually of the experience that we get. So we started 93 already. I have no idea how much experience I got. I should probably write it down and just check on the next map. But I think that's it. We got a Minotaur map, we got 7 exalts over here. We get actually a full Ancient Orb, which is quite great, I would say, but this is just RNG. But yeah, we should actually get a bunch more Ancient... Hey, there is one more Harbinger over here. We should actually get more Ancient Orb this way, just because there is way more Harbingers, right? We have like 20 or so, and double boss, so should be actually great. I'm just wondering why, let me quickly check, why did we not get any fragment? Hey, wait, there is one more! Holy shit. Did they just respawn, or did I just were super bad in clearing that map here? Yikes. Because that will be the first boss that doesn't drop any kind of fragments for the actual shield weapon or something like that. So either my loot filter doesn't show it right now, or it's just a chance to gain either a fragment or a scroll fragment. Are we gonna find? As I said, this was the first time I was ever running that. We have a recurve bow, and other than that, I don't see anything that should be relevant here. No, doesn't seem like. Probably it is like that one piece of a fragment. Like either it's the scroll or the shield or the mask or whatever we can probably get. But yeah, we're gonna use all of that currency now separated in my tab over here. We're gonna bump up everything. This would be the tab for the parts, basically. We have maps over here. We have any kind of weird stuff over here, and that's about it. Beachhead number 1 done. 59 to go. And I would say quick scene transition, and we're gonna see us again in, yeah, for you it's about 3 seconds, for me it's about 1 or 2 days in just grinding those beachhead maps, and yeah, see you in a bit. Welcome back. We are done running the 60 infused beachhead maps, and with I mean, I just couldn't do it, okay? I did run a couple of those, but as I said in the past videos with the white, yellow, and red beachhead maps, these maps are just so boring to run. They take forever. I can easily run a 200 boreal chambers. It takes like 1.5 minutes, maybe even 1 minute if you have a speed build. But these maps you cannot speed up. And for infused beachhead maps, you have 20 additional harbingers, which means that it is 2 bosses as well. So it just takes like, I don't know, 7-8 minutes per map. So if you run this 60 times straight, I just couldn't do it. I ran like 20 myself, and then I gave the maps to like guild members and friends that they can leech some experience, right? They're just gonna return the loot, so we have this for the actual comparison gamble. And that's why this character only went up from 92 to 96 or 93 to 96, somewhere at that part. But yeah, it's about the result, it's not about the experience gain. I just have to say, it was about 8% per map for level 95, okay? So you run like, I don't know, like 15 maps or so for level up, I don't know. So it is very, very good experience. So let's take a look on what we got this time around. We got shit tons of scroll fragments. So as I said in the beginning, I was wondering what fragments does this boss drop, and is the fragments just like a thing that can drop in addition. But no, in infused beachhead maps there is only scrolls dropping. So we have like 60 scrolls over here based on the 60 maps, so no fragments of anything of the other parts that we had like in the other beachhead gammas, like where you have them, these kind of parts. Only scrolls. Obviously, since there were a lot more harbingers, we have a lot more of annulments, we have more ancient orbs, we have more exalted orbs, like chaos, like everything you can drop there, from splinters to everything else, is like a lot more, just because there's a lot more beachheads, or at least harbingers, that drop these things, right? Then for the maps, we have like, same as on the red maps, we have like 66 tier 14 maps, 46 tier 15, and 55 tier 16 maps. That's going to be really good once I merge this one with my map. So I have like almost 1,000 high tier maps now. A couple unique maps, nothing special. But what we got, actually, we got 1 Cortex out of one of the bosses that dropped basically based on the Awakener bonus, the extra drop basically, and 2 Guardian maps. So if we take a look at the write down of this entire thing here, we spent 90 exalts buying these maps on the exalt exchange ratio of 1 to 140 back like 2 days ago or so, right? If we take a look at the currency tab, we have close to like 3,700 chaos orbs made, with about the best one was like the ancient orbs, is obvious. They were like 35 chaos in the past, or in the other videos like 37, 38 chaos. This time around they dropped to 30 chaos, but in the end, don't forget, we are selling bulk now, right? And for bulk selling, you always get more out of it, so it's definitely going to be more than 30 chaos per piece. Then 5 exalted orbs. I think 2 exalted orbs were natural drops, and the other 3 were based on splinters or shards. Or at least I found 1 exalted orb for sure, and the rest is just based on splinters. So nothing too special over here. Fragments, this is the fun part. We have 13,800 chaos just from the fragment scrolls, and this basically pays off the entire gamble, because the maps were like 12,600 chaos, the fragments 13,793 chaos. The big winner here is the time light scrolls. This one goes usually for about, it depends, like 3 days. Before it was like 10 exalts per piece. At the moment it's like 7 to 8 exalts. In my calculation I put them in for 7 exalts per piece. And the other ones are like 70, 75, 80 chaos, like whatever. I think Their regulation scroll, I think they were like 85. I'm not sure. Let me quickly check that. So 65, 70. So it's actually more like towards the 70, but whatever. Just a couple chaos plus or minus doesn't really matter. In the map tab, we have like 150 maps here, which is about close to 1400 chaos, and then the 2 guardian maps and the cortex maps for about 220, so it's like 1.5 exalts or something, which makes a total of 19,137 chaos orbs again. So if we're gonna make this the outcome minus the investment, we're talking about 6,537 chaos divided by the 137, which is today's Exalt exchange ratio. So this was like 2 days ago when I bought the map, so we have to like compare that. So we have about 47 exalts pure profit on these maps. So for all the people that are saying you're gonna lose a bunch of currency running the infused beachhead maps, I thought so too, but luckily we had like a lot of timeline scrolls. So if we would like find half of those, okay, so let's say fragments, we have like half of the timeline scrolls, we would have minor profit, okay. So I don't think they're weighted. They, like, based on the drops, they're like 10, 12, 11, 8, 6, 13. So they're pretty much even. So it's basically the chance is like 2, 4, 6. The chance is like 1 out of 6. So basically 16.7% chance. Yeah, something like that. And it doesn't matter. So, like, let's say 20% chance each map that you're gonna find one of these. And this is the big currency bringer over here. And I was actually lucky. In the first 10 beachhead maps, I already had 5 timeline scrolls. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, if you just compare now, we have 90 exalts investment. And if you would divide this by the 7 exalts per scroll, if you would find 13 scrolls, the scrolls, just the timeline scrolls, would pay off for all the infused beachhead maps. So, and if you're gonna take a look at the overall comparison, since we're now basically done with those, we had about 13 exalts or close to 14 exalts profit on the white maps. We had about 12.5 exalts on the yellow maps, 16 exalts on the red maps, and now close to 50 exalts on the infused beachhead map. So if you compare all of those, we basically invested 128 exalts for the 240 beachhead maps, and we made actually 95 exalts profit while actually leveling the Righteous Fire Trickster to 96 and now the Guardian to 96. So if you're just looking for the nice sweet experience, basically it's definitely worth running any of those, because in the end, as you see, I made profit on all of those, right? I personally would assume that the red beachhead maps are the best, I would say, not because they're like having a little bit more profit, but it's about map sustain. It's a tier 15 map. You can easily run this on Awakener level 8, and you're gonna generate shit tons of maps that you then need for seed farming and stuff like that. The investment is like just a few, is like 35 chaos per map, so I think that's worth it. The infused beachheads, although giving the most profit, I don't know, dude. The thing is, it took forever to freaking run those maps, right? So I didn't really enjoy running the infused beachhead maps, although like the light scrolls and stuff. But in the end, I'm not doing this for profit. I'm just doing this, taking the bullet for the team, trying out what is the best map. And I gotta say, probably red. For me personally, if I would do this again, no, I will definitely not do this again, because beachhead sucks. I don't know, sorry. But I would probably run the red tier ones, and that's pretty much it. Good. Now we have shit tons of currency, or at least once I sold everything. But we also have shit tons of ancient orbs. So we have now a total, since I was stacking them up until they, like these, the 211 ancient orbs are basically from all the 240 beachheads. And if you think that I will sell those in bulk now, you're definitely in the wrong channel. We're gonna gamble those for Headhunter in the next video. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this kind of series. The next 2 videos would be, one would be the Ancient Orb gambling, and another one would be a build guide. Not really build guide, but theory crafting about the aura stacker that I was using with the cluster jewels, with like stacking aura effects, something like that. It is pretty similar to the Herald stacker from last league. So I'm just going to cover how does this work, how does the Nebulous interact with the shafts and the Call of the Brotherhoods, how does this all work together, just so if you want to try this out yourself, because I am now done with this build. I've done the beachheads now, so this build can just, it's overpowered, dude. It's a joke. Like, I don't know, like this, no fun for me. I'm just going to ditch that and play something more ethical. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.